Alright. Let's hope the internet works today. I think it's been running pretty poorly lately, so I'm hopeful that it stays good enough that we can do this today. Alright, let's enlarge that. Alright. Here we go. Now, this car already loaded the Cobb Stage 2 map on. I didn't do a baseline because the car already has mods on it. And, whoops. It says water there. I'm going to move that. It's going to hit me a lot. Actually, I need to check something real quick. I forgot. I think I loaded a Cobb SF on it, and I need to change it to an ETS intake anyways. I think. That's ETS intake, right? Or do you know which one that is? ETS. The intake? Okay, yeah. Because there's no labels on it, but it's nice little box.
Lane popped it open when I was here last week.
Okay.
And he checked.
Okay. Perfect. Oh. Dope. Smack myself on the noggin. Woof. All right. Front mount. This thing's got a front mount. Stock turbo. It's got exhaust. Hello, hello. I gotta put my seatbelt in. That will be annoying. That's loud. Holy shit. That thing is like offensively, intrusively loud. That is crazy. I feel like there's a speaker like right in front of my face with that one. That was really loud. That was surprising. Hello, back another WRX. That's all day long. You know, it's actually this morning it was Mustang. I did a Mustang earlier this morning, so. Copy this. So this morning was a Mustang. It didn't go well because the customer left, which is fine. I mean, the customer here, but I wasn't able to get a hold of him after he left because he wasn't answering his phone. So that meant that did not get finished, unfortunately, because he had his ECU locked with an aftermarket tuner, and it wasn't in the car. So that sucks. So little V6 Mustang did not get the tune it needs, and it needs it too, man. I did a baseline pull on it, and the air fuels are rich, and after 5,000, the horsepower just tanks. Like loses. Well, I don't want to say 200 horsepower because it's only got 180 wheels. So it lost, I think, about 120 wheel from, it was either 5,000 or 55 to 7,000. It was like horsepower was going up and it just went, it's completely shut down. And the air fuel went really rich on the very top end. So it definitely needs some love. And unfortunately, I was not able to provide it to that guy because his tuner wasn't in the car. So that sucks. And I've been super busy. I've been tuning a lot of stuff lately. Actually, I haven't been streaming at all because I don't have time necessarily to stream all the tunes. Or I have some customers that don't want their car to be streamed. Or it's, honestly, one of the more recently ones is my microphones have been dead. They're, unrechargeable. and I forget to plug my mics in, and so I'm not going to talk to the speaker on the laptop because everyone always complains about how bad the audio is when I do that. So I think this is right. Yeah, that's the one. So yeah, I missed a couple last week because my mics were dead. And what else? Yeah, just busy. But I do try and stream when I can. I definitely want to share with you guys. Holy shit! The peak on this thing says 24.7 psi. Wow, that's not bueno. How do I reset that? I don't know how to reset that. I don't know. Okay, I think it'd be that button. I don't know how to use this thing. I mean, I'm looking. Oh, maybe like this? No, that's not it. No audio. North London. Tires are pretty balanced. But I'm looking at the peak boost on here, and the peak boost is, holy shit, 24.7. We are not going to be doing that today. I'm hoping that the boost control system works on this thing correctly. Yikes. That's crazy, because, like, this is an electronic wastegate, right? Electronic wastegate is controlled. Sorry, my brain paused there. I was looking at this thing, trying to figure out how to get this reset. So the electronic wastegates are just positioned. They're based on position, and spring pressure is not a thing because they're a hard motor on there. It's basically like a drive-by-wire motor in it. So like, it isn't an issue at all with exhaust or whatever. There you go. Finally done. It's not an issue with exhausts. Control. Well, I don't know. That's not necessarily true. So the initial positions are based on the exhaust that you have. You got to change the initial position so that it's not too far shut or too far open or in an unrealistic area, so that the turbodynamics has room to adjust the door as needed to get to the right spot. But that being said, I still did not realize that they're off enough from the factory that you could even hit 24.7 on a stock tune. That's crazy to me. And I have no idea how to reset that. So, I mean, I don't even know when that peak came in because I didn't drive it today. I'm hitting the I button, and the I button is, at least these menus here go to the turbo stuff. I don't know. Anyone got a 24 or 22 or whatever WRX that has the status in the middle of the display instead of on the middle of the dashboard over here? Know how to reset it? I don't. I hate that button. How about this button? No, not that button. This I button is doing absolutely nothing. Well, this button's bad. Like, never does it do anything in any menu, any mode. Weird. Reset meter screen panel. You can reset it on the main panel. Oh, over here? Map, radio, media, car info. But that's the one. No, just driving statistics. Infotainment. Yep, that's where I'm at. Is it this button? Nope. I'm trying to find it. Quarter lane. Water temp. Oh, okay. No audio. I don't have any options there. I have water temp, oil temp, accelerator pedal. And I don't do anything else. And I'm on car info. Maybe there's another screen. Nope, not that. Settings. Display. Meter screen. Peak value reset. Found it. Jeez Louise. Why did they go so far to get there? That's crazy. Had to hit the home key. Had to go to settings. From settings to meter screen, and meter screen to peak value reset. That's a lot of steps. Thank you though. Thanks, Jason. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, I need to connect it. Okay, update the firmware. Oh no, update the firmware. Yeah, these have been really weird about that. Sometimes they have to be disconnected. This one's for the Cobb intake, so I'm gonna be way off. All right, let's see here. Some of these, Cobb had an issue with these, like when you update the firmware, it like loses the ability to talk to the car completely through the export, and you got to unmarry it and remarry it, and all kinds of stuff. So I'm hoping that's not the case here. All right, so WRX, CCF3. All right, let's see what's going on here. Okay, now let's try and connect. Will we connect today? Connecting the vehicle. Oh, a module was found but does not match the selected module. I just switch modules. Okay, because it's on Gen 1. But it did connect though. It did connect. That's good. And they don't use Gen 1 anymore. Okay, so that means I got to unmarry this thing and marry a Gen 3 map. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Good thing I've started the stream because I have someone to hang out with. That's you guys, in case you were wondering. All right, cancel. Access port is connected to your computer. Access port is pissed off. Okay, eject. .311, 310. I feel like these are the old ones. Yeah, I gotta unmarry it. Fudge. Fudge, fudge, fudge. Uninstall. Well, at least they sped it up with the last thing, right? What's up, Jason? How you been? How have things been down south for me? I think you were here last stream where I was saying I was being down on myself for a bunch of stuff. Not being busy enough and everything, just to find out that it wasn't my fault, it turns out. But yeah, I got a job interview on Friday. The second interview, and then I'll get my offer. So I will go down to tuning. It depends how this whole thing goes. Like they're saying that they give me 40 hours of work and I'm salary, but if I'm fast and efficient, I get done in 20. So if that's the case, then I'll be doing lots of tunes on like Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So it's my own fault. You know, I don't media well. I don't advertise well. I don't Facebook well. I just tune well. That's it. And that's not enough. I don't have clout. I don't have enough internet authority out there anymore. And a lot of the crowd that used to know me has moved on to other makes and models and vehicles and whatever. And the people out there that have these cars don't know me. And since I don't have YouTube videos of me running from the cops and doing stupid shit, then I don't have enough fame and clout, you know. So I don't lie to people on their dyno numbers either. So yeah. So I thought that I was all washed up. Turns out that wasn't the case. Turns out that through a communication error, I wasn't getting the phone calls. I wasn't getting the options for the tunes and stuff. And when we fixed that issue, it took a day and a half to 2 days, and my tune schedule filled up for 2 full weeks. 2 tunes a day for 2 weeks. So yeah, that was crazy. Now it's 3 weeks, and I got Dodges, Mustangs, Subarus, LSs, all kinds of stuff. I got a Hellcat, I got a truck, I got a bunch of stuff just filling up. So it was really a surprise that now I'm like, man, I probably didn't even need that job, but I'm gonna do it anyways because that job has benefits, and the job is not tuning, and the job is something else that I can do for years even after I can't tune anymore, that kind of thing. So I'm going to do it. It's not going to pay as much as tuning, obviously. Well, that's not true. I have not making much in the last handful of months because of that communication issue I was telling you about, and because China copied after my shit, so I don't have I'll get as much part sales as I used to. So this will be a nice, steady, livable income with just 20 to 40 hours of work a week. I can do that, and then I can also tune and supplement and all that. So that'll be nice. It'll be good to have something steady, and in addition to this, which is often chaotic, where I get a tune that shows up, it's supposed to be 4 to 8 hours, and turns out to be 3 days because the car's broken and has all these issues and stuff. So, and the guy lives 2 states away or something, right? That kind of stuff happens all the time, and that definitely impacts my ability to make money when I have to spend 4 days on one car or bump other tunes and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be nice to get something nice and consistent, and then be able to do this and be able to do more fun stuff too. I'll be able to do more fun stuff, so that's exciting. Where is it at? It's in my office at my house, actually. It is a completely remote job, and I say completely remote. They say occasional travel, so I'll say about occasional travel. But basically, what I'll be doing is engineering and estimating substations. So power distribution, transmission substations. You guys may remember or not remember that I used to run nuclear power plants in the Navy, and on subs, aircraft carriers, land-based systems, and power distribution, all that kind of stuff. So I have, knowledge and experience in that field, so I'm going to be doing that. In theory, we'll see. I don't have my offer yet. I have the final interview is Friday, and then I'm supposed to get my offer after that. Somebody that I know at one of the places that does this said they saw my thing and was like, I think you'll be happy with what they have to offer you. But they didn't tell me what it was, so I don't know. I don't think they're allowed to, and that's fine. I'm not that anxious, but yeah. So I'll be back in the dual employment or multiple employment thing. I'm gonna hit it hard for a while. We'll see. I'm gonna hit it hard, tuning in the evenings and weekends and that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna push it hard this spring and summer and into the fall, and see what kind of progress I make. I really want to build a home, but I've been dumping all my money into R&D on parts, and my wife has been very supportive, and I love her for that. Very supportive and very tolerant and very patient, that I've been dumping so much money into parts and not into us. And so I need to do a little bit of us in there, because I just haven't done any us. And other than the cruise we were on a cruise, right? Other than that. So anyways, that's my confessional. This thing is still going. I'm at 79%. And I think this is in the unmarry phase, so not even to the new thing. SolidWorks, yeah, dude. So, I mean, any of them are good. Oh yeah, I would love to. I would like to do WinLS as well. But yeah, SolidWorks. What you should do is fuck SolidWorks and go to Onshape. Go to Onshape, and Onshape is free for hobbyists right now. I pay like $5,000 a year for it because I'm not a hobbyist and I use it to design my parts. But it's super slick and it's free, so you should do that. And a lot of this stuff is very similar to SolidWorks. You know, I got a degree in SolidWorks. I did the SolidWorks. Well, I went to college, right? Did the whole CAD degree, and then I also did the SolidWorks associate program and all that. I had SolidWorks for a while. I got a bunch of SolidWorks models and stuff that I've done, but I really don't like SolidWorks. It isn't the program that I dislike; it's the company. They're really a bunch of cocksuckers. They're an absolute shit company, and I don't recommend them at all. They suck to deal with. They're extremely arrogant. They don't want to do anything. Like, they just suck. SolidWorks just sucks. The program works pretty good. Works pretty good. A lot of stuff doesn't work though. It's really annoying. So let me share with you. What's my browser? Edge, I think is what it's called, right? What do they call it? Okay, turn the car off. Turn the car off. All right, I'm going to show you Edge. Here we go. Here we go. This is Onshape. Okay, now this is my account on Onshape that you're seeing here. So these are my parts and stuff. So if we go to Onshape, this is my home page. My ECU box, for example, I designed an ECU case that I put Link G4 ECUs in. Oh, I don't have a fucking mouse. There we go. I'll do it this way. I need a mouse. I suck at doing this with the trackpad. But anyway, so here is one of the ECU cases that I have. If you haven't seen it, you should go to my webpage. It's pretty slick. And so if you have any of the cars that have the Link plug-and-plays, this will work. Any of them where the ECU is in the floorboard, that's what this is for. Now, it doesn't have the diagonal upper ones because some years they bolt up top and bottom on this flange, and some years they bolt up here. But it's big enough. The single bolts and the floorboards and everything else hold it in place. It's not really a concern. I thought about making a little add-on adapter just so you didn't have to have this part sticking up made out of a 3D printed material. That just doesn't seem very smart. All right, I got to install. Now I have to install again. I'm going to go to the new version. Yep, new version. That's not working. I need to restore all the OTS maps because they're not there. I don't know why they're not there. It's a fresh port. Maybe I missed it. Let me try it again. Yep. Oh, they're there. Well, that was weird. All the 310s were there. Boy, I'm really kind of wondering now. Let me double check. This is the newest version of AP Manager, right? I'm wondering if it is now because that reflashed so slow. That 3110, that's where I'm at. Copy version of clipboard. All right, let's flash this back. Let's hope this works. Shit. Nope, I don't want that. I don't know what's going on here. I feel like this is the same map version I was just going to flash on this thing. And it's not. And it's the deprecated version. It's being weird here. Let me see. Let me connect. Try it again. Okay, manage. Okay, there's no maps because it's not married to a car. So it won't tell me what there is unless I get a map and put it on here. That means I got to build one. So let me just build one really quick and just see. So we're going to change my ECU real quick, and then I'll show you this other stuff. Let me just do this really quick. 22, manual, WRX, Gen 3, okay. I'm going to compare this to another map. Do this to Chase's. I'm going to import a bunch of stuff from his, with the exception of flex fuel. Give me just a base map somewhere to start from. Base 2022. Okay. All right, I'm going to put this on this. And then I'll get back to you. Just give me 1 second here. Just crank some shit real quick. Okay, now I know it'll put the right one on because I'm going right to the Gen 3. Does it make it an option? Or is it grayed out? That's the question. Okay, turn off this climate control because the CAN bus will stop it from working. Lights are off. Everything is good. I think we're good. All right, back to on shape really quick. Okay, so here is an ECU update is required. That's what I was afraid of. Okay. So you go in here and most of the features are just like you would use in SolidWorks. This program is made by the people who originally made SolidWorks, a group of the people that originally made SolidWorks. When they sold it to Dassault and then they bailed on it, they had their no-competes and all that shit they had to deal with, and they finally decided to build this. And so some of the stuff in this is very what's what I'm looking for? SolidWorks, and some of it's very Inventor. They took like a lot of the features from both the Inventor and SolidWorks to put it in here. It's pretty cool. So let me show you. So again, here's like my ECU that I designed. I can just take the lid away so you can see the inside of it. There's the inside of the ECU. God damn it, this thing does not. I need a freaking mouse, but in a car that it wouldn't work. So anyways, this works for the longer WRX ECU or the shorter like GR ECUs. Both fit in here, and this fits in both of them. It's on my website. It's actually pretty cool. Done actually. There it is. If it ever loads. So I got my website. And here we go. Link ECU case for Subaru. So I have like little ports for hooking up. Wow, that's really zoomed in. Let's try this. There we go. So you can put USB and the CAN connectors plus extra holes for the expansion cables. Like this. Oopsie. There, looking down at that. Where is it? Oh, I have metal inserts in it for the screws. So I put metal inserts in there to actually bolt it down. This is annoying. This is the header spot. You see these grooves are for spacers. Size spacers that I print to make it narrower for the drive-by-wire cars or wider for the drive-by cable cars. But anyways, that's like my ECU thing. It's pretty cool, and I did that with SolidWorks. I did with Onshape. Now also other stuff, like I was doing a fuel rail really quick for a friend of mine, and then and joking with him obviously because like I said here on this thing, he got a Dom tune. So I just use this now to test some features. This wrap is one of the features I was testing with it, where you can take a design. Like if I take this, I'll just hide that. All right, so here's my fuel rail. I can create a sketch on a plane, so I make the sketch. God damn it. There we go. So there's my hexagon sketch, and you can take that and I can wrap it around a cylinder. And so I just re-enable this feature again. If my mouse would freaking work. Come on. Holy shit. I gotta hit this button. There we go. Now I gotta do it. There we go. So it wraps that around the cylinder. So I was trying to do it because I want to do like a surface on the intake, but it only works on cylinders, unfortunately, as of now. I'm sure they're working on some other stuff. But like most 3D modeling softwares, you have your tree, and you build it step by step along the way. So you said you want to learn it, but let me just go to roll to here. So the first thing you do is you create your sketch, and your first sketch would be the shape of fuel rail stock. So I looked up online at fuel rail stock to see what they offer online, and that's one of the sizes of fuel rail stock. So I don't got to make my own fuel rail. I got, aluminum stock like that. So I just extruded that out. That's what the stock looks like. That's the dimensions that they make it to. And then I can start my fuel rail there. And then I did another sketch because I needed a place to, what was this sketch for? The injectors, right? Where the injectors are going to go in the bottom. You see the little spot there. So you do that, and then you just cut into it. Boom. So I extrude into it or move material. That's where the injectors go. But I don't want to cut O-rings, so I want to add a chamfer. So I add a little chamfer to that. And then I add another sketch. And this sketch is probably going to be mount or, yeah. Okay, so I got just some lines here getting ready for the mount. So I extruded a separate piece of metal. I didn't connect it. These are two different pieces now. So you see here, part 2, that's a different piece now. So SolidWorks won't let you do that very well. Onshape will let you do it really well. You can create all kinds of parts in one studio, as they call it, the part studio, which is way better than what SolidWorks can do. So now so here's a piece of metal. I'm going to bend it to be my bracket for the fuel rail, but I want to shape it because I don't like the way it's shaped. So I created a sketch, I cut it out, and I did that. Now what I also want to do though is I want to make sure it's the right length because it wasn't quite there. So I had lengthened down to, gosh damn it, stop it, to the bottom of the rail. like there. And the only reason I had to do that was because this piece was too short, and to bend it, a lot of companies say you got to have a certain amount of material on either side of a bend or the bender won't work. So now with Onshape here, I convert it to a sheet metal piece. So now this is actually a sheet metal component, and I can flatten it out. I can go to a bend table here, and I can see, hey, here's my piece. So flattened. And so I can send this out as a DXF or whatever, have it cut, and here's the bend line, and tell them to bend it. And then they can bend it on their shear, or I can do it on mine. This spot's a little iffy. It's really close to the bend. Sometimes it'll pull or twist the material here. It won't look super great. But so if that's the case, what you end up doing is bending it and then doing some post machining work to cut some stuff out or whatever. But anyways, yeah, so this is it's a sheet metal part now, and I got to put holes in it so I can mount it. So there's holes now so I can mount it. Come on. Jesus Christ. I'm using the right click, but I think I'm using left click. Trackpads suck. There we go. Here's some mounting holes. So I got some M5 mounting holes in both the sheet metal part and the main body now, because I had to tap them as well. And then chamfer some other holes, and then of course chamfer and thread where the fuel line connects, the fittings connect. So that's a -8 fitting that I threaded. Oh, they added modeled threads now. Look at that. They didn't have that before. That was in the last update. And then I add the text to fuck with my buddy. So anyways, and then you do some other stuff down the line to make it work. But so that's a very basic part of what you would do in Onshape, how you could make something. But I got a bunch of stuff in here. I got my sections for my Honda Talon, parts that I've done for the exhaust, the air water intercoolers. This is for an E-gate. I put an E-gate on my Talon. So I have E-gate Talon or E-gate mounts and actuator pivots. I'm using a throttle body to control boost as well, instead of a bypass valve, 96%. Instead of bypass valve, I'm going to use a throttle body connected and activate it as if it was a throttle body. And then I'll control boost on the Talon. So just a bunch of shit I got in here. Engine parts, different types of fuel rails, my connecting rod. You may have seen those online. My oil caps and all that stuff is in here. And other shit. I got some shock parts. I've got air water intercooler parts, the new damper that I got. I just got an email yesterday. The prototype is done. They're sending it to me. Yeah. Oh, someone mentioned scans. So here is a scan right here. If it'll draw up. This is a scan of the dash on my, geez Louise, on my Mastercraft. There we go. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Woo, woo, woo. There we go. There's a scan of the dash on my Mastercraft. And so from that, I got this shape of the panel and this shape for the panel and created new dash pieces, because you can't get these pieces anymore. And these are like a plastic material that breaks and stuff. So I had some cut out of aluminum for my boat. Anyways, lots of cool stuff in there for that. Bunk. I'm in the same boat. Need a partner in a relationship with family. That's hard to balance home life and hobby life when you're obsessed with your hobbies. Yeah, there's a bit of that. Turn the key on for final reflash. Boy, these things take forever to flash. All right, there it goes again. Hey, Mark. I didn't want to show your in-tank for your intercoolers yet, because I know they're not public yet, but I definitely want to get those. I want to get a copy, and I want to adjust the one end tank to fit my turbo kit. So I feel like we could do that, and I could figure out some way of compensating you for the one end tank that you that I'd be stealing of yours. Somebody at my house or just the cats? What's going on here? My ring is just going off like crazy. Is it the Oops driver? Dude, the internet's so bad here right now. I don't understand what's going on. Wow, my phone's locked up. I can't even pull out menus. Cats. Cats pissing on my tree. Okay. 90%? Oh my god, another fucking flash. What are we saying? Oh, Mark. Yeah, so I want to get your I'm gonna get another copy of those end tanks, and I want to modify the one for the feed side for the turbo kit, and figure out how to compensate you for that one side that you did all that hard work on. So we'll have to figure something out for that. 3D scanner work is pretty cool. You should check into it. I'm definitely sure it would be cool to start designing parts. Definitely opens with the design aspect. 3D scan stuff. My work doesn't make anything cool, but really enjoy messing around with it after hours. And 3D printer. Is it like print on demand? Oh, okay. So how does that work? Okay, so let's say I wanted to print something. Let me show you, Jason, if you're still here. Let's say I want to print something. So let's go to. I'll bring these in. So here's the parts. Okay. So there's the parts that I made from that scan by identifying the locations of all the mounting holes and all of that. So, and the way I did that, it's really simple. It's simple, but it's tedious because this scan is only so accurate, right? I mean, there's only so much tessellation that they can get before it becomes a file that's, you're unable to use it. But what you do basically is you pick some points on here to make a plane and try and make it flat. Now, there is some variability in the surface of here. There's some higher and lower points on here. So finding the right points that create a flat plane can sometimes be difficult, but there is a flat plane in there somewhere. And so that's what I did. So the first thing is you pull in this import, and then we identify 3 points on this plane. Here we go. Here's my 3 points. See those 3 points right there? So those 3 points dictate a plane, because you can't have 3 points in space and have a different plane. There's only one plane with 3 points. 2 points, you can have it rotate. You have a plane rotate on 2 points, right? You can't have a plane. But 3 points locks it. So there's my 3 points. There's my plane. Those are the ones I chose off the mesh. Now, if we look really closely, if I can get this damn thing to rotate like it's supposed to, if we can zoom in here. So I got to find a way to get to that surface. This way, we'll go this way. And this is just not working. I need a freaking mouse. Anyway, so I create a plane, and from that plane, then I go and I create a sketch. And so with the sketch, what I'm doing on the sketch is I'm trying to draw a spline along the edge. I can follow this edge here and draw a long spline, or if I'm not using a spline, maybe in this case I used arcs, because the piece wasn't made with a spline, it was made with arcs. And so I use this arc, find the radius. I can actually go to the thing if I want, measure the radius on the piece of equipment, or I can, guesstimate it on here. But I did both. I like to just verify with the broken piece if I can get an approximate radius of that. And there's radius tools that you can get. They're just big quarter circles of various sizes, and you fit there and see, oh, that quarter circle fits, that quarter circle doesn't fit, whatever. And so you put that quarter circle up in here and make sure it's the right radius. And so that's what I did. And then I did this big radius. So I have all these radiuses here. And I created a panel. Zoom out, center, zoom in. This does not work very well. Anyway, so now I've got that shape. And then I drew some construction lines. This is a construction line. These are construction lines to give me another a line on this plane to which all the holes will be for the switches, right? So if I bring the switch source back up, right? These are round holes on the board. And so you go from here to here, you measure it, see how many in between, and then you can do some math to see how far apart they are. Or you can create the first one where you think it should be, and then do a linear pattern, and then stretch it or shrink it until the last one fits. I prefer to calculate and then lay them down and see how it all works out. But what you can see, if we bring that sketch, bring the sketch up, that I have all those holes, and then the holes for the circuit breakers too. And then once that's done, I can hide that. I have that drawing. I just extrude that sucker out. So I just make it thick. That's what we're doing. So we're gonna that one. So then we just take that drawing and make it thick. So now I take that drawing or this solid now it's a 3D solid. So I would go here and I would export it into an STL or a STET. Depends on what it is. But if you get a 3D printer, it's going to be an STL. So you export it into an STL file, and then hit the export key, and then the export will load it to your hard drive, to the folder of your choice, and then bam, you got that STL. Is this thing going? Man, this is still at 25%. That's concerning. It's almost like it stopped. I'll give it a little more time. I have all the accessories off, so it shouldn't drain the battery too fast. But it's been 25 for a few minutes now, so I'm concerned about that. But anyway, so export that STL, import that STL into your slicer software. So in my case, I have Bamboo Labs. You bring that into their slicer, and then literally just say, lay it on this plane, and set these material parameters, and hit print, and then it'll print it from there. So you don't use a slicer. Onshape doesn't have a slicer. It does have a cam that they might have brought it out. They might have actually released it now. I don't recall. I haven't used it yet. A cam software, which you would use for CNC stuff. But you would need to you got to load in, what tools are in what slots, the size, the speeds, all that kind of stuff. So like the cam software in here, you need to integrate it to your machine. So you got to tell it, how far the X, Y, and Z, how fast the spindle can go, how big is it, where are the interferences going to be in just the machine itself, and that. So you got to, I don't know, but I'm really concerned right now because I'm stuck here at 25% on this car, and that is very much a concern. I don't know what to do. I'm stressed out right now because this flash has stopped at 25%. Shit. I have an Einstar, and I have a Creality Lizard, and the Lizard sucks ass. And the Einstar is better, but these inexpensive scanners, like the Einstar, I think was $1,000, and the Creality was like 600 or something, suck, man. They suck so bad. And you see those guys on YouTube doing these fucking scans like it's no big deal, just scanning my thing, putting the computer, messing with it, dude. Just look at that boom part. Like, fuck you. it ain't ever that easy. It ain't ever that easy. It's never like that. I don't know what those fucking people are smoking, but it's never that easy. Yeah, this thing locked up. You go to, yeah, it's insane. They're like, oh, let's just scan this and you're good to go. Yeah, no, it's you're fighting. Cannot see. Cannot. What is it? Oh, lost tracking. That's what it is. You're trying to scan it, and you're going super slow. I mean, just crawling through space, just really, really slow, trying to make sure. And then it's like lost tracking. Go back to old point. You got to like back up a little bit and hope it recatches some points it recognizes, and then it like all turns red, and it never recovers, and it just starts spinning on the screen. You're like, fuck! Like, yeah, it is never, ever as easy as they show it online. It's actually ridiculous when I watch someone do that. I'm like, there's no way. That's not how this works. Like, it is so much work to get a scan to work. It sucks. When you use the cheap ones. Now, you get a nice and expensive one, ain't no problem. We had one in college that was pretty fancy. And it didn't care. It distracted people's faces and shit, like whatever. Now with the cheaper ones, the $1,000 or less, you got like spray paint it, or put 3D scanning spray or dry shampoo or something on it, and you gotta make it not too reflective, because then the light scatters off of it, but not too matte, because then it doesn't reflect enough to even see it anymore. It's just a fucking nightmare. It's so bad. And every time I gotta break out with the scanners, I just cry. And with the OnStar, you have to calibrate it where you're using it. So every time you do the damn thing, you got to do a calibration on it. Every freaking time. And if it's like, say, on my boat, for example, you have to make sure that you have lighting like everywhere with as little shadows as possible, but not too bright. Because if it's too bright, it becomes all too many reflections. And then you got to set the thing down and calibrate it, which is tedious and time consuming. It's retarded. You got to do it every time. And do the light balance and all of that. And don't change the lights from the time you calibrate it to the time you do the scan. And don't calibrate it in a light area and then scan something in the shadow, because it won't work either. It is so... It's basically $1,700 worth of scanners I wish I had back. It's just so bad. So if you're looking to really get into it, get a good one. Right now, everyone is blowing OnStar over their new Atlas one. I think it's called Atlas, I think is the new one. And some people are having some pretty good luck with it. But they had really good luck with the OnStar. And they had really good luck with the Lizard and all of that. But I didn't. And I'm fucking following directions to the T, using all this shit, the newest software. I got a brand new computer. That's because your computer has to have a good video card in it and have a lot of processing and power and RAM and hard drive space for these scans. Otherwise, it can't process the data fast enough. So you got to have a really good computer. So this computer that I'm on now is an i7 14th fucking gen, whatever the hell it is, computer that... that's got like 32 gigs of RAM and a terabyte and a half M.2 SSD, right? You got to have all this shit. Otherwise, you got to turn your resolution way down, and even then, it might not even work. Yeah, it's a pain in the dick, to be honest with you. And all these guys are doing that shit online and making these videos. Look, I scanned my car and I made a new trunk. I scanned my whatever, and they just show you this video of them going like, "Ooh, done!" And then they, it's good. No, bullshit. There is no fucking chance that it was that easy for them. That's the clever world of editing. I would just say look closer at his scalp. If he's more bald by the end of the video, then it would make sense. Probably pulled it out trying to scan the thing. All right, so now I'm 34% into my flash recovery. I need to put a battery charger on this thing now. It's been taking so long. $45%. And that one's got juice?
What?
That one's got power?
That's what they tell me.
Well, hit the button and test it.
All the buttons don't work. They've dropped many times.
Okay. Because I don't want you to hook that up and kill it worse.
Should be good.
Okay. Thank you. $77%. The Mustang guy comes back at 3. I'm not even going to have a fucking pull done on this thing. I just got a notification of someone like to comment to mine from months ago. $92% on the first step of the flash recovery. Ooh, it says 100. Turn key off. Okay, key is off. I mean, I literally, at this point in my life, probably have years of time waiting on an access port. Considering I've been tuning access ports since the version 1, back in like, what is that, 06 or something, I could very well have years spent staring at this thing. This might not work. It might be SOL. Honestly, I might be completely shit out of luck on this. It just told me how to do the ECU upgrade again. I haven't seen a single chat message come in for quite some time, so I don't even know if anybody's here anymore, or if I'm just talking to myself. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. I can't do anything. I'm just saying. Like, it's going to be a half hour, so, like, this is something that you need anyways.
I mean, I have like a little tender.
Right. You need a charger.
Yeah.
You need a real charger. Like, it's a
Oh,
shop.
100%.
You should have a professional piece of
That's the
equipment.
same one we have
That
right there.
Schumacher one.
That's not
they
what you
don't
have.
work right out of the box. As soon as you buy them, they don't work.
That's not the one you have.
That's what this is. It's a Schumacher.
I know, but it's not this fucking one. I got this guy fucking nodding. You tell me yes. Just look, my brain fucking works, okay? My brain works, and the shop should have good fucking equipment. And the fact that I'm always like trying to find a jump box or a fucking charger is kind of ridiculous. If I gotta bring my fucking own, I will. When I say that's not the one you have, it's because I fucking looked at it already. It's $189. It's a manual knob, like I said in my text message, a manual control one, not the electronic one. The manual one's got a 3-year warranty. You would think the electronic one that costs $300 or $400 should also have a warranty.
Yeah.
So contact them maybe and have them replace the fucking thing or figure out what to do.
Right.
Like, I can do it for you if you want me to, but it should get done.
I'll call him right now. I just want to know, in the meantime, what can I do to help?
There's nothing other than needing better voltage.
Okay.
So I don't know how else to do it other than getting a charger.
Okay, I'm going to call him. It says they have that one in stock, it looks like. So that's a
They do,
plus.
yes.
What's that? Shoemaker
Yeah,
250?
it's the SC 1445.
1445.
Sorry you had to see me get mad. Yeah, who knows what'll have this fucking flash. I'm at 85%. I don't know. We'll see. Of the first part, again, because I got to redo the whole thing over again. I'm concerned about the voltage. And I'm stressed that I'm in this position a lot. And I wish that they would just get the fucking tool. I love them. Let me just put that. Let me get down first. I love them. It's a bit of a generational thing, right? It's a bit of raised by different people, raised different standards and growing up differently, with reality TV and, other shit. And there's a big there's just a difference, it's really all there is to it. There's just a difference in stuff. And so I've run an auto shop for many years. I've run work centers for many years. I could run 20 techs, and do troubleshooting and, just all sorts of shit, right? I can do a lot, and I know I can. And I have done it. And they're still learning. And so when I say X or Y, they're looking for fault in what I say before understanding what I said, I think is what it is. There's that mindset that we're looking for fault before or justifying why we haven't done it, right? Like this charger that's behind me has been broken for like a year and a half. And they only worked for like 6 months before it broke. And that's not their fault. But what's their fault is that it's still sitting there and it hasn't been warranted, or they haven't contacted them and said, yo, what the fuck? Like, why is this, going on? They just kind of like, oh, well, right? And every day, these guys struggle with jump boxes on all these cars because they push cars in and out all the time. I mean, if you see the parking lot, there's 30 Subarus out here, and they deliver a car every day and take 2 in, like that kind of thing. It seems like, and that's good. I mean, they're working, but there's these things involved in getting jobs done. These steps in these processes. And some steps in the processes are taking way too fucking long. And I see that and it makes me twitch. I see these steps in the processes that become holdups that shouldn't be holdups. And I want these guys to succeed, and I don't want to be wasting my time, and I don't want, to have something fail because I wasn't able to get the right tool. That's not good. And I don't know. It's the whole shaking their head at me thing just is what set me off, honestly. That's what we have. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Like, motherfucker, I looked at it. I know what it is. Like, give me a fucking break. It's the same brand name. Great. Well, they have a whole product line. You know what I mean? So that's what set me off. And then the stress behind this ECU and the stress behind not having voltage. And I've been telling them, like, this is not the first time we've had a battery charger conversation, right? We've had the conversation for a long time. And so it just becomes frustrating. And, they got a lot going on. They got more than just my ass on the dyno. And I understand that, and I'll stress that again later when I apologize for yelling at them. But, like, they have more than just Dominic on the dyno needs help. Oh, the old fucker on the dyno needs a hand. Like, it's more than just that on their plate. And I know that. And I don't expect them to prioritize me for everything, that kind of thing. And just that when the process gets stopped, I need help. And when they need help, I go help them. But sometimes I feel like them helping me is delayed more than it should be, and me helping them is expected to be instant. So sometimes I got to check that a little bit. But, I understand they have a lot of cars. Carson's back there putting an engine together for a car. Lane's doing 2 ECUs, 2 links in 2 cars, as well as troubleshooting a truck and doing suspension on the thing all at once. And, Chase isn't doing as much, that constantly in the physically doing car stuff, but he's, phones and emails, and the phone's ringing nonstop, and emails and all that stuff. So I know that I'm not the only person that they need to help out, and I know I'm not the only point of focus. So I just I get frustrated when I have the same conversations over and over again, and they go, "Oh, we agree," and then I tell them something, "Oh, that's not right," and it's like, ah. So yeah, what is going on over there? I don't understand. Looks like a food. Oh. I wish I could show you. I wish my phone worked as a streaming camera. Doesn't anymore. I'm looking at this umbrella over this cart, and it looks like they're grilling dogs on the side of the road. But what it is this umbrella over a manifold for the HVAC, because the cart is not a cart. It's actually the air handler for the hotel. And since it was raining earlier, they have an umbrella covering the guy working on the fucking air conditioner. But from where I'm sitting here, it looks like it's a cart on the hot dog cart on the side of the road. So, anyways, this flash is now at 82%. I think this is the last step. I think it's the last step. And then, oh yeah, and Jason, last thing to say. Any relationship that involves me is difficult. That's not true. My wife and I, we get along great. I am super easy to live with. I I am super chill, believe it or not. I am too chill. And my wife gets mad at me for being too chill sometimes. She's just like, can we please do this now? I'm like, whatever. So, yeah, overall, I am pretty freaking relaxed about shit. And I know that people have other things going on. I ordered custom wheels for my Corvette. Did I tell you guys this story yet? I got some nice bronze F14s coming. And the guy said 4 to 5 weeks, get them made. Sweet. Send him the money. And custom wheels aren't cheap. So send him the money. He said 4 to 6 weeks. Or 4 to 5 weeks. So he said 4 to 5 weeks. I waited until 7.5 weeks, and then I sent them an email. Because I like to be patient. I am very patient with stuff. And I understand that producing things takes time. So I said, hey, what's the status? And the response was, I don't know. Let me find out. And I'm like, I appreciate that it was a fast response, but I would think that making me wait 10 more minutes and then just finding out before answering would be better. But anyway, so then he's like, it turns out we didn't have the material to do it. And I'm like, I was upset. I didn't portray that I was upset, but I was just upset because, when did you not know that you didn't have the equipment? You think you'd know that right away. And oh, weird. I thought I turned that off. You think that'd be something that you don't know, or that you would know right away. I don't have the stuff, so I know that. So I was like, all right, dude. Well, I appreciate the update. I understand shit happens. And he's like, oh, I appreciate that you understand that. Like, yeah, I produce parts. One of the things I do for a living, so I get it. Shit happens. I said, am I irritated that it took until almost week 8 and me sending an email to find out that my stuff was going to get delayed? Is it irritating that it took my email for you to find out it was getting delayed? Yes. But do I also know that busting your balls about it isn't going to get me any closer to getting my wheels? Also, yes. That's what I said. And then he and I shared a laugh about it. And he said he appreciated me being patient. But, I get it. I totally get it. Shit happens. I want my wheels for my vet, goddammit. My vet's on the alignment rack at the place next door right now, actually. This says that the CAN gateway is turned on. I thought I turned it off. Oh, yep, there it is. I missed one. I have the CAN gateway turned on. But I have the flex fuel turned off. There we go. Okay, that's good. So that's done. I just have the gateway turned on still. Okay, she's running with the check engine light, but she's running, and unfortunately, it's set for a Cobb SF intake, and this is not. This is an ETS. So, wait, hold on a second. Yeah. Sorry, it took me off. My brain was thinking, did they even have it set for this thing yet? I thought for a minute they didn't. They only have the intake pipe. Okay, not plugged in. So, and since I'm pretty sure that math is still not real time, I'm going to have to do some logging and create some things. Time to hit 24 PSI. Let's fucking do it. Let's do it. It's time to party. No, this map that I put on here is for a car that's got almost the exact same mods, with the exception of the intake. So, I'm going to load up the dashboard here in a second, and we're going to see where we're at. Trim is total. I'll bring it up in a second too on the thing. I'll show you guys the software here. Let me get it. MAF frequency, MAF airflow final. All right, and let me get my boost error and my wastegate position, and commanded. Copy those to my log. Hit OK. All right, bring in my dashboard. All right, so I got a big correction right now, which I expect because this intake is bigger. But I believe it's pretty consistent. It's been a while since I remember doing the ETS, but on this car, I believe it's basically like 10 to 15% across the board gets it where it's supposed to be. Like it doesn't greatly disturb it. So right now, its trims are at 11%. Okay, so wasn't too far off. This one. There we go. There we go. All right. Is that box on the dyno roller? I don't want to drive on the dyno and fuck it up. Okay. All right, so let's put a little load in across the board here and see how far off my air fuels are in these other zones. Like I said, I think it's like 10 to 15%, pretty much across the board. You got it. Did they take back your other one?
Yeah, he said that none of them work. So he said that they'll take back the other one, but he said that you don't have much faith in this working.
So they're all having issues with them?
What?
They're having issues with all of them? All right. Well, don't hook it up right now. We'll let the alternator do some charging right now, and then I'll fuck with it later. I said, don't hook it up right now.
Okay.
I'll fuck with it later.
Okay.
Did Oscar come back?
Not yet.
Okay. Let's see. Roberts. I had an engine replaced. I found a used engine and it had FIC 11s in it. Oof. Use the FIC injectors or flip them. I had a 48 and here's it. Yeah. Get rid of them. Sell them. Sell them. Just get some stock STI dark blues. Match with the VF48. You'll be in great shape. Like the rule with a lot of stuff, and especially with injectors, and I say this all the time. Use the smallest that you can get away with. There's so many things out there. I mean, literally, probably every component, really. Use the smallest you can get away with. MAF housings. Use the smallest you can get away with. That we have maximum resolution. Injectors. Smallest you can get away with. Best atomization. Longest pulse width possible. Means better atomization, better fuel economy, less issues with port wall impact factors. turbos, smallest you can get away with. Use the one that gets you as close to the peak horsepower as you want as possible, because that means it's faster responding and works better everywhere else also. Exhaust. Use the smallest you can get away with. Right? Charge pipe sizing. Smallest you can get away with. Absolutely. Like, and just about, there's I can't think of the intercoolers. The smallest you can get away with. The gigantic intercooler blocking your radiator flow. Not a good deal. Or just weighing too much. Right? So, nearly everything in cars is use the smallest you can get away with. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't grasp that. A lot of people immediately go for the biggest. You know, oh, this is the biggest that I can barely use. You know, it's kind of how it ends up being a lot. And that's no good. That's a Mustang right there. We don't want to see that one. So yeah, it's almost everything is the smallest you can get away with, because that means you'll have the best resolution or the best response or the best whatever. Yeah, go big or go home, exactly. My log button didn't work because I was on the wrong screen. What a dummy head. Okay, it was pretty lean for a while there. I mean, it was adding some fuel, but it still was leaner than my target. And I saw one little knock event come in, and we obviously don't want to do that a lot. Oh, it's learning. Final knock learning right there. All right. Okay. I don't even look at the graph because I don't really care much. We'll take a peek. All right, 234. Wow, that's low. Wow, that's really low. Okay. What do we got? I'm going to review the log right now. Looks like air fuels are right at 10%. So, and then right off the rev limiter, I dropped the dam because the rev limiter hit. Oops. Oh no, I dropped the dam during the pull. I missed that. All right. I did see the learns in there. But it's interesting that it was doing that because the closed loop was working. It was working late though. Oh yeah, it didn't work until like $5,000. Okay. And it's still adding trims in there. All right. I wish we had real-time tables. Sensor calibrations, math. Let's start with the math. What was our boost level? Because that was pretty low there. Oh, I closed the log like a dummy head. I don't know. I think I'm storing these goddamn logs. forgot where they go now. Let's see where my thing is. F10 log list, stores, display, login. Here we go. Tyler, OneDrive. Oh my God, why would you do that? I hate OneDrive so much. I hate it so freaking much. And the fact that it pushes my log files to a OneDrive folder is just absolutely maddening to me. Just, I fucking hate OneDrive. And, ugh. Yeah, my Corvette's done. Sorry, Jason, I'm laughing about your comment. And then thinking, remember earlier when I said I had a job interview? Biggest size with largest pressure drop. Ranks used, the biggest you can get away with. No, I would say smallest too. You can get away with, honestly. Less rotational inertia. Hot, heavy brakes, or they hurt performance. So use the lightest one you can get away with, and then you'll have better handling car, faster car. Like it's going to go faster, it's going to accelerate faster, it's going to brake. Well, better. That's where the whole get away with part comes in. But too big of brakes is a thing. They can be too big, right? And they don't heat up to the right temperature, or take too long to heat to the right temperature. And then you're stuck going like, oh man, this thing has no response when I'm daily driving. I have to get on the track and then even to stop. Like, you can get too big. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything where that's untrue. Big heavy rotors to slow the car down. All right. I feel I've been very patient. So losing my shit once in a while is probably due. Dude, man. You're the man, dude. Thank you. that should clear the check engine light for the CAN gateway. And this should add to the math. And hopefully eliminating the check engine light gets our boost to come back. Because there was no boost on that pole. At least not a lot. And hoping that the extra math reduces the timing enough that that's not so mad this time. Because obviously it was angry. And then what else? Oops, wrong button. It's interesting that with this WRX, they brought back the need to calibrate the throttle pedal. The 20 didn't have that anymore, but the 24 does again. Alright, so I'm just going to bring this up because the real time doesn't fucking matter. It's a little rich on tip-in. That's intriguing, honestly. That's very curious because tip-in is... I don't know if it's even adjustable on this thing. I don't know if I've ever adjusted tip-in on an FA24 before. Alright, so now I got a little negative trim on there. Not like that. Oopsie. I load the dyno too soon. Just try and drive it a smidge. Alright. Should give me a boost this time. It says I'm logging. There we go. That's a happy FA24. That's what it's supposed to look like. That's a big change. Alright, let's clear that. Let's bring that back up. Bring this back up. Yeah, that's much nicer. Alright, let's review this log. Okay, cams are doing what they're programmed to do. Yep, it looks good. I just took the whole log there about where they should be. Calculated load peaks at 3.2. 3.2. That's a pretty good calculated load, honestly. 3. Oh, higher than that. 3.24. Okay. But it does immediately get fuel this time. Air fuel ratio immediately goes into the mid 11s by 2,500 RPM. And it's still adding 2 to 5% on the top end through the duration of the pole. 2 to 5%, yeah, through the whole pole. So I'm going to have to add some in the higher zones. It was pulling a little bit at idle, so I will have to add and then subtract. Okay, that's fine. Just a little bit, though, not much. So 2 to 5 up top. Oh, I could probably clear that with the VE, actually. Yeah, I'll check the math VE compensation. All right, feedback and fine learn. Let me sweep through those in the log. 2500 00000, and that was a totally clean poll. I've got 9 degrees at red line and negative 2.5. Negative here, -3 at peak boost down at 25. By 4 grand, we're at 0 degrees. By 42, that is, they're at 0 degrees. And then up to 9 by a red line. Boost pressure. We did this on 16 pounds peak. We got 16 pounds of boost peak, 16.8, 16.8, 16.8. Yeah, and the screen on the dash says 16.9. Way better than 24.7. And then looking at about 13 at red line here. Mass airflow corrected is pulling us in at 269 grams. Now I'm going to add some to that because I need to add some more fuel up top. Because it's about 10% or 5% low in fuel. So 5%, that's going to be another 10% would be 26. So another 12 or so grams up here up top is what we got to add. to get it in place. And that will match the wheel horsepower pretty good, actually, because another 12 will put us, so here's 269, so 271, we'll say, if I make it 275, that's within a few horsepower of the wheel horsepower, which, as I've told you guys multiple times, within 10% of my mass airflow is what we get for wheel horsepower. Wastegate position, this is pretty interesting. What we're getting here, this thing, really. Six millimeters up top, actually. 6.6, it's close to commanded. Position commanded and actual are pretty close. 5.8 compared to 5.5. 3.6 compared to 3.6. Okay, so my commanded is pretty close to actual through here. Much closer than I thought it was going to be honest with you. I realize it's the same thing as before, but yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. One thing I miss about forums with threads and chats groups is how you can look for information like better organized. Challenge through Facebook groups and info. Yeah, that's a conversation I've had multiple times, Mark, that the Facebook has killed forums and it has murdered car groups. It has absolutely done them no service. It's bad. Unfortunately, Facebook has really screwed up the scene in so many ways. Okay, so right now I've got 2.9 grams, so that means I'm right here at this 2.5 kilohertz range. So I keep that in mind because I'm going to add fuel now. And that's going to hurt down below because I'm adding it across the board initially. And I'm going to pull a tiny bit out from here. .4 is 2.9. Okay, right there, like that. And adjust this spot right here too. Oh, that's gonna be fine right there. That's gonna be good right there. Okay, so my timing is not terrible. My boost is pretty good. It was really close to my target, honestly. But let me take a peek at that a little bit. Boost targets. How much? We went over the target. My target was 15.8, and we hit 16.8. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna bump my target up a little bit. Bloop. Help better match what we hit. And then I'm going to, knowing that it's going to pull some timing out, I'm going to add half a degree through the power region. Add half a degree through the power region right here. Okay. And then that should help because it's going to get richer, and the higher gram per second reading is going to pull timing. So, and by increasing calculated load, so I'm going to add a little bit to it. That's why I did that. Yeah, hopefully that's enough. Unfortunately, we got to flash it now. So this is going to be 17 psi, 92 octane. This gentleman's name is Robert. His last name was something. There was ETS from an intercooler, ETS intake, exhaust TBE, and etc. Okay, one. I'm going to go look under the hood just to give it a once over while this flashes once I set it to flash. All right, you're back. Make sure it's flashing. Now I gotta buy the guys lunch tomorrow. We're yelling at them. Plug in that jump box on there. Oh yeah. All right. And adding to the math cow means I'm going to be even richer than before. It's going to be even richer. Let's see if that pops up on stream. It did. All right, cool. So I'm richer than before on my tipping. And it is. It is saucy rich on tipping. So how can I adjust that? I mean, what's my commanded fuel do during tipping? Let's see. Well, that one actually went lean that time. Make up your mind, car. What do you want to do? Huh. So the tip-in's actually delayed a smidge and then it overcompensates. All right. Well, how the hell do I adjust that? I don't think, like I said, there's no tip-in adjustment on these cars. Post start, open loop, not open loop, closed loop. Fuel pump, fuel pressure, cranking kind of fuel. Yeah, it's right there. Check my commanded fuel final. See, there's a lean spot in there somewhere. So right now we're at 750 RPM, and it passed through 28. Okay, my calculated load is 25 right now. So I'm right here, and then I go to 120 almost instantly. It does pass through a leaner zone in this commanded final map. It's passing through a lean zone in it. I wonder if that lean zone is causing a stumble. I mean, it's only 3% on here, but yeah, it seems like that could cause an issue. Let's go to the VE compensation table, which is somewhere. There it is. Okay, so map compensation VE. VE is here, 68, 68, 69, 70. It goes up and then drops back down again. shortly after that. Passes through. It does dip here to 62% at 16, which I believe is about where we're going to pass through on this thing. No, straight across. It went straight across, over, and then down. So straight to 68, 69, 70, 75, 80. But it's interesting because it initially is lean because it's late to engage the tip in, but then it goes rich. So it's almost like got to pull some out, VE out of the atmospheric zone and increase the VE quicker through this zone. I wonder if that would even cut it. I'm going to try that. So this whole section is really low. I'm going to raise that up. I'm in the VE table. And this whole section is low. I'm going to raise this all up. But I'm not going to raise that. I'm going to bump this down a smidge to the value, the low value that's next to it. It's got a low value next to it, which is kind of interesting. Okay. Now, I wish this was real time, but it's not. So these changes I make now don't make a damn difference. On this table, TGB's open. We have a high VE, and then it dips down and goes back up again. That is very much what it's doing in this current situation. But I shouldn't be on that table right now. I shouldn't be there. I should be in the TGB's closed. They should be closed. And this doesn't have deletes, so I should be in the closed map. But I guess to figure that out, I hit F10. I'll bring up my TGB ratio and see where I'm at. They should be shut. What is going on? That is a weird TGB ratio. There we go. I got a bunch of artifacts on my screen right now. Okay, so as soon as I tip in, it's moving towards the other one. So it's going to blend between those two, and the other one's got that pulled fuel. Interesting. I mean, it's enough. It stumbles. When you tip in, it stumbles, which is crazy to me, too, because the mass airflow is super accurate. Like, it's really close. Like, if I bring it up the higher airflow values, it's not lean. It's actually rich. These things pull so well to redline too. Like you see by the dyno graph that it barely falls off at the end, right? Like that last one, it fell off a little more. You don't really feel that much on the dyno, and you can bounce the thing on the redline pretty quick. I actually lifted right here, so I lifted sooner than that. Interesting that it ran that high even though I lifted. Weird. All right, let's look at this log. Okay, airfield trims. Way better. Yes, 1%, 1%, 0%, 0.3, 0.3, 1.0, 2.5. Oh, there's a 2 in there. Oh, game's over. Quit my job. And then drops immediately back down to 1.5, 1.17, 0.39. Okay, so trims are perfect. That is great. Everything is really happy in there. Okay, let's go back here. Let's look at my timing. Timing. I was negative 2.5 at that spot. It is negative 2.5 again. So that half a degree I added was pretty well compensated for. It did bump the timing up in the low range a teensy bit. It switched over to 0. Instead of being 0 at 42, it's 0 at 4 or 30, 38.50. So the time went up a half a degree, about 300 RPM to 400 something RPM sooner. Up top, red line though, I'm at 8 on this pull because I lifted. And interestingly enough, the dyno RPM and the engine RPM don't match at all this pole. That's weird. Because I didn't change the calibration on that. I know I left it early. I didn't hit the rev limiter, and that pole went longer. Weird. That's weird. I didn't change the calibration on anything, so I don't know. Anyways, so looking back here, airflow now went to 284. All right, 284 at the very peak, and our boost is what? Our boost hit 17. Our boost went 17.3, and that's why we have so much more through that mid-range section there, because we did add boost in there. So there is boost in there, and up top it added a little bit too. Actually, it's at 14.3 instead of 13.5. So we did add a little boost up top too. We didn't get any more power up top though, but we did get a little extra boost. And it fell off a little harder, and probably fell off harder because of that boost, honestly. These things get a lot of back pressure at the top end, so they don't like getting a lot of boost up top. And it's weird because I don't think I'd raised the boost up there. I think it just did that on its own. Let me see. How much did I add? Oh, no, I did. That's right. I did do it. I remember looking at this graph now. I see it. I did do it. I did add some over 6. I'm going to drop it right here at 52. Just one click down, and then at 6 I'm going to go click down to yeah. See how that plays. And then I got those VE changes in there for tip in for the next pole. Yeah, it just stumbles. It stumbles, and we have no ability to change tip in or wall wetting or anything. Fuel pressure, I suppose, but that doesn't change anything. Fuel pump injectors. Yeah, there's no tip-in control on this. So I'm not sure how to do that right now. I'll think about that. Unless doing the VE thing that I did is all I need to do. In which case we'll find out here in a couple minutes. After this thing flashes. If it ever flashes. If it ever leaves this screen. You can do it! Oh, access port not responding. Go figure. Okay. And that. And that. I'm hitting the button. Yes. All right, let me check my messages. Okay, 3:30, no messages. And yes. Yeah, Mark, I want to add in a little more to that, if you're even still here, to what you said about the Facebook groups and all that. So what happens is guys end up finding a single source and latching onto that. And in the case where that source is me, that's great. Where it's anybody else, that totally sucks. I'm just kidding. But, like realistically, like they latch onto a single source. And unfortunately, there's a lot of sources that aren't good. And there's a lot of sources that spread misinformation or, rely on their clout or, whatever. And you get a lot of guys that have a lot of bad parts on their car or a lot of things that just don't work out, like FIC injectors. So it sucks because in the actual forums, the one Subaru like Naziok, right? There was Naziok, iClub, and IWSTI were like the 3 places you would go for Subaru information. Everybody was there. I mean, I was early in Naziok, and my member number was 10,700, right? And I was early in Naziok, 2000, 2001 time frame. So to think about that, you go into a lot of these Subaru pages on Facebook, and member count is 6,000, right? that's not even close. There's hundreds of thousands of members on these other boards, and so the information is there from all kinds of sources. And yes, on the boards you'll find the ones that were reputable, but it wasn't one dude. You're like, oh, this guy wrote a bunch of threads about this. I can look at his other threads. This other guy was really good at this stuff too. I can look at his, and you could search by name and go find their information and see if they're credible or not. Oh, well, he's got this car that's really fast. It's not on his 15th engine this season, and maybe his information is good, but that's gone. It doesn't even exist anymore, and it sucks. It really sucks. In that way, I'm guilty though. Like, I don't go to NASDAQ very often. Unfortunately, it's really toxic, and I tried to go back to NASDAQ, and the amount of hate for my cooling mod was so much. I was just like, fuck this. I'm just tired of it. But, even then, like, I'm not the only one not going there, right? There's a lot of guys aren't going there, and a lot of tuners aren't going there. A lot of people just aren't fucking going there. And that sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck because I hate NASDAQ. It sucks that there isn't that good forum data source anymore for the newer stuff. Like, if you're building an 07 STI right now, you can still go to NASDAQ and get a bunch of good information. You gotta check the date, because there's gonna be some old information on there, but there's still good stuff. Okay. Oh, I want to check that too. Make sure the O2 sensor is kicking in. Make sure it's warmed up and active. It is. Okay, that's a little better. There's still a little shudder though. These things do shudder. Yeah, it's got a little shudder on the rev, but that was significantly better. I wonder if I mess with the cam timing. If I can get the cam timing altered. Because that is improved. That is definitely improved. But there's still, if I do a big one, there's still a stutter. Huh. And I can't blame fuel pressure, right? Because that's not the thing. It's 700 something PSI at idle. Or maybe it's 4 something on this one, I forget. But here we go. Oh, that was the rev limiter. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that. I was watching the dynograph too close. Okay. Looks like it carried better. Dropping the boost up top looks like it helps. Oh yeah, it carried way better. Look at that. A little hiccup right there, a little notch dropped out of the power curve right there. And I don't think there's an issue with like knock happening or like that, but maybe I need to tweak. Yeah, I didn't pull any timing there. Timing's still coming in pretty good through that range, so I don't think it's a timing reduction or insufficiency, but it could need a little more love on AVCS, honestly. AVCS goes from 0 to negative right at 6,000. Where's that dip at? Right at 6,000. Okay, let's look at our wastegate position. It goes from 6 to 5.7 for a few, and then 6.3, 6.6. There's a little bobble in the wastegate duty right there too at that RPM. I say wastegate duty, wastegate position. A little bobble in the position at that RPM. Our error goes from being at target to, so we just went over target a smidge right here. Okay, so that RPM is right at 61. Okay, so looks like I need to double check my boost curve and see if I have a dip in it somewhere. What's our load? And if anything, I just need to add a smidge to that zone just to keep it from swinging the wastegate the other direction real quick to try and compensate. Wastegate. Throttle's full. Calculated load is what? 2.7. So we're still pretty good in there. All right, at 6K. Yeah, okay, I did. So I do have the boost. Oh, there's one spot right there. Let me double check my requested torque. Throttle requested torque. Fourth gear, top of fourth, 350 until 62. Then it drops to 330 until the red line hits. Okay, so I wasn't there yet. I was at 350 still. All right, so let's go back to my boost target. Pretty sure that was fine. Just raising boost target up a smidge, that one spot, because I do have it dropping pretty quickly right at 6. I think actually, if you were to go back in the stream, I said I'm gonna pull some boost out of at 6,000. I pulled just a little too much. Excuse me. It's actually dropping a whole pound from 56 to 6, so I did hit that button a little too aggressively right there. Like that. What is that? It's a 0.3. All right there. So just a tiny bit more. Right there at 6K, just to keep it from dropping the wastegate position. All right. Otherwise, I think I'm good. The log looks wonderful. Air fuel ratio is right in there. 0%. 0.7. 0, 0, 0, 0.7. 1.5. Here's a 2.3. Here's a 0, 0, 0, negative 2. 0, negative 0.7. So air fuel ratio trims are beautiful. We're hitting our targets. Cam timing's good. I think we're good. I don't know if I'm going to do another pull. I think I'm just going to do that boost target thing and not even do a pull. I don't know, like why run it over if you don't have to? I didn't double check my cam timing though. See, intake shows 0 here. And that's weird. It was going to negative. I don't see a negative on here. Unless I'm in barrel multiplier low or something. Yeah, that's weird. Huh. Intake, negative 2. Negative 2, negative 2. So it gets all the way to negative 2 at 2.5 load. So that is not negative 2 on any of the tables that I have, so that must just be just a little bit of error in the position. Maybe a little chain stretch or something. All right, I'm going to save that. And I'm going to exit this. So it's not doing that. I should have turned off the fucking logger first, or the dashboard first, because it just brings this damn program to a halt. Self-cited Wikipedia page thing. I haven't seen that, but that makes sense. If somebody cited Wikipedia as a source on their own thing, that'd be funny. I'm sure it's happened. I haven't seen it, but I believe it. I'll do one more pull. Why not? See if it fixes that little dip or not. All right, last pull. Let's do this. Let's do this. I like this new motor, and I got some things coming up down the pipeline for this motor, so it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. I think we're going to do some cool shit with this at 24. Yes. Yes, Mark, people still do. In fact, probably more than they used to, honestly. All right, let's hit it. Look at that. Beautiful. Freaking beautiful. Exactly what we wanted. Exactly what I wanted to do. Give her that little bloopy. Whoop. Look at that. Cool. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. This car is going to rip. It's going to be nice. It's going to be good. Okay. Well, that's all good. That's all saved. Let's just leave my thing here. And the Mustang guy is back, so I get to go do Mustang. Oh, shit, my knee. I can leave the stream going if you want to see it. I use a different computer, though, for it. So that won't be as advantageous or anything. But it's just a 2007 D6 Mustang. Nothing crazy. It's got some mods done to it. Hopefully I can fix the top end because it drops off like a rock. It's bad. Hopefully I can make it do something. But anyways, here's the graph for this car. All right, guys. I got to get this done. I'm running behind. So I need to be quick. But I appreciate you stopping by. And thanks for the questions. Remember, always ask more questions. I can cover topics. I want to talk about air density some more and how that affects ports and valves and cams, all that stuff. I want to do that in using Gail Banks's videos. I'm not going to use his videos, but bring that up how you always have their air density. But I want to teach the gas guys how it relates to us, not just the diesel guys. So I want to teach the gas guys how that relates to us, because diesels are whack. At least they were, the old ones. New ones are getting way cooler. But there's some things that he talks about that I know the gas guys aren't understanding, and I want to clarify and basically educate you all as much as I can.